most concerned about the new students starting next semester. The first weeks are vital for the students for the community building. It is in this time when you find your friends and colleagues with which you will do the whole journey, your group works, sports, and more. So related to this topic, so freshman students, what exactly are your thoughts? Because this will definitely be a central, like a key point for next year. Professor Sprigman.
Yes, this is absolutely our thinking. And for me, the freshman students and the fresh women students have absolutely the priority for us, because we all know that school, certainly in our country, tends to be quite female. The women students do better than the male students on average. And suddenly we transfer into a technical university that is about 33% female students, and vast majority of the professors, 85% of the professors, are male. So it's a different environment. And this is a big challenge from, again, jumping over hurdles and being tested every 3 weeks to being tested at the end of the semester or the end of the year. And as I said to you, the first year for us is the selection. So you have to be quite resilient. So I think one of the things that we're learning a lot about is work being done by one of our colleagues on social networks, and the importance of the first weekend and getting together and meeting people and forming groups and forming friendships. So I think if we have to deal with the impact of COVID-19, we have to change a little bit how we do that and try to help people build groups of about 20 people, because there will be some diversity, so that even if they're and they're going to be studying more or less in the same department, so that you can have some networks that continue to grow. They will change with time. They may change through a year as we can move ourselves from a little bit of blended teaching and all the rest of it through back to a little bit like what we did before, but hopefully better. And I think my message to everybody would be: pay attention about the first weeks that are back there, and then build ways in which you can support these young students with peers from maybe other years who can help and share advice, so that those students can find their way and settle in at the new place. And I think that's in a nutshell what I think we're going to try and do at ETH.
Like to build on what Dr. Sprigman said right now, because we are working exactly on the same way, and starting to plan the welcoming weeks for the freshman students, as we usually do in having them in groups and having older student coaches to these teams, but to make it in smaller teams and adapt the activities that they're going to do together, so that they are study focused, social focus on them, but not perhaps in really the same way as usual. And I think that we have a very extremely good collaboration with the student union, and I think that some of you are sitting out there listening right now, so thank you so much for contributing and helping for us to work on this together. We work together on trying to find the best way for the freshmen to arrive, because that's what we also think is important, is that they actually come to the university, not that they stay at home and follow on a distance, but that they actually come here, get a student housing and find new friends, and that we can help them to do that. So just a comment.
I think this is a very vital point, perhaps the most difficult one is starting up again. Overnight, bringing the university from on campus to online was difficult, but this is much more difficult. And I vividly recall way back in '77, when I was a freshman student, standing on the square of my university at that time, surrounded by 2,000 people I didn't know, I didn't know the city. I couldn't find the first lecture hall where I was supposed to take my first lecture. And that's what all new students face. So what we are trying to do is reshape our start of the new year for our freshman students. We're talking to the mayor whether we can bring them in small groups to campus so that they can see in life, can meet one another, form for the first weeks the groups. We normally didn't do that in the start, that we formed groups per program. We mixed them completely, but we're now going to do it per program so that they carry into the first week with a group of at least names that they know and that they can work partly online with. We're currently making a 3D or 360 degree, whatever you want to call it, movie of the campus and of the city. So the first 3 days of our introduction will be online completely. And then 7 days, we try to get them in small shifts through the city and the campus to make sure there's this start and that they feel welcomed, because that's a very important part, getting them out of the high school groove into university groove. And I really worry about that. Normally we have that they see how it works and that they feel that the old way that many of our students at high school worked, book under your pillow and the next day you're smart, doesn't work at a university. And the pace and the pace is much higher and the level is much higher. So we need to help them really through the first weeks, as Sarah said, get them started and be a little bit relaxed in evaluating them, give them time to adapt to this new environment.